Ever wondered why fat people seem to be a lot warmer than others? Well, let's dive into this intriguing subject. There's a myriad of misconceptions surrounding the lives of fat people, and today, we're going to debunk some of those. You might be surprised to find out that there's more to the story than meets the eye. We've all heard the usual stereotypes, but what if I told you there are 10 strange things about fat people that you probably haven't heard before? From having a higher alcohol tolerance to being more buoyant in water, these peculiar characteristics might just blow your mind. We'll explore why they're less likely to get certain diseases, why they're more likely to survive cardiac events, and even why they're more prone to snoring. The world of fat people is filled with mysteries waiting to be unraveled. So buckle up, folks. Stay tuned as we uncover the 10th strange thing about fat people. Have you ever noticed how fat people float easier in water? Well, it's not magic, folks, but science. You see, fat or adipose tissue is less dense than water. It's packed with lipids, which are lighter than water, making it a great natural buoyancy aid. Now let's think of it like this. Imagine you've got a cork and a stone of the same size. Toss them into a pond. The cork floats, but the stone sinks. Why? Because the cork's lighter, less dense, just like fat tissue. So, when a person with a higher fat percentage takes a dip in the pool, they tend to float easier than their leaner counterparts. Their body acts a bit like that cork, bobbing up and staying afloat with less effort. Pretty cool, huh? And it's all thanks to the wonders of our natural body composition. And that's why fat people can float better than most. Now let's move on to the 9th strange thing. Ever heard that fat people can hold their alcohol better? Well, there's some truth to that. You see, a person's body composition, specifically their fat and water content, plays a significant role in alcohol metabolism. Alcohol is water-soluble, not fat-soluble, meaning it distributes itself more in body water than in body fat. Now, folks with a higher body fat percentage typically have less body water. So when these individuals consume alcohol, it isn't distributed as widely, leading to a higher concentration of alcohol in their bloodstream. This doesn't mean they're processing alcohol faster. It simply means their blood alcohol concentration, or BAC, rises more slowly. So while they may appear to have a higher tolerance, it's actually their body composition influencing how quickly alcohol impacts them. It's a fascinating interplay of biology and booze, isn't it? So the next time you're at a bar, don't be surprised if your fat friend can outdrink you. Let's uncover the 8th fact. Did you know that fat people are less likely to get certain diseases? Quite the paradox, isn't it? But science doesn't lie. And it's been observed that individuals carrying extra pounds tend to have a lower risk of diseases such as osteoporosis and lung disease. Let's take a moment to unpack that. Osteoporosis is a condition characterized by fragile bones, and it's more common in thin people. Fat tissues, it turns out, play a vital role in maintaining bone strength. So paradoxically, carrying extra weight can actually be a shield against this bone-weakening disease. Now let's talk about lung disease. Research suggests that fat people are less prone to chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD, a condition that makes it hard to breathe. It seems that the extra fat tissue can actually help protect the lungs to some degree. Quite surprising, isn't it? Now let's dive into the 7th strange thing. Did you know that fat people are more likely to survive cardiac events? Now that might sound counterintuitive, but let's dive into the science behind this fascinating phenomenon known as the obesity paradox. Several studies have shown that individuals carrying a bit of extra weight tend to have better survival rates following cardiac events compared to their leaner counterparts. This isn't an endorsement of an unhealthy lifestyle, but rather an interesting observation that challenges our understanding of the links between body weight and heart health. The exact reasons for this paradox are still under investigation. Some experts propose that fat people may have greater energy reserves to draw upon during the recovery process. Others suggest that they might receive more aggressive treatments simply because their weight flags them as higher-risk patients. Regardless of the reasons, this paradox serves as a reminder that human health is complex and multifaceted. A strange paradox indeed. Let's explore the 6th strange thing. Ever notice that fat people tend to snore more? And no, it's not just a stereotype. The science backs it up. It's all about the extra fat around the neck. You see, the human throat is a narrow tube, and when it's lined with a bit of extra fat, it narrows even more. Now, when you're awake, the muscles in your throat work to keep the airway open. But when you're asleep, these muscles relax. In folks with extra fat around the neck, This relaxation can cause the airway to become partially or completely blocked. So what happens next? Well, the air tries to squeeze through the narrowed passage, causing the surrounding tissues to vibrate. And voila, you have the symphony of snores. This is why people who are overweight are more likely to snore. It's a fascinating intersection of anatomy, physiology, and weight. Interesting, isn't it? Let's move on to the fifth strange thing. Did you know that fat people tend to have fewer wrinkles? Now, that's a fascinating fact, isn't it? It's all down to the extra fat in the skin. You see, fat acts like a natural filler, pushing out the skin and smoothing out those fine lines and wrinkles that age us before our time. Like a plush, well-stuffed sofa, the skin on a heavier person is filled out, reducing the appearance of wrinkles. And it's not just about aesthetics either. Fewer wrinkles also mean less risk of skin damage, as there's less folding and creasing where harmful particles can accumulate. But before you reach for that extra slice of cake, remember that everything should be in moderation. While fat can help reduce wrinkles, it's important to maintain a balanced diet and lifestyle for overall health. Who knew that extra fat could be a natural anti-aging remedy? Let's uncover the fourth fact. Ever wondered why fat people seem to be a lot warmer than others? Well, the answer lies in the unique insulating properties of body fat. Fat, in essence, is nature's way of keeping us warm. It's like a built-in blanket that envelops our body, trapping heat within. Our bodies generate heat as a byproduct of metabolism, the process that converts the food we eat into energy. Now, in individuals with higher body fat, this heat has a harder time escaping due to the insulating layer of fat. This results in a higher body temperature. Moreover, fat cells, especially those found in brown fat, can actually generate heat themselves. This process, known as thermogenesis, further contributes to the warmer body temperature observed in individuals with higher body fat. It's fascinating, isn't it? How our bodies adapt and function in such intricate ways. So that's why they feel warmer. Let's uncover the third fact. Did you know that fat people have different brain structures? You might be surprised to hear this, but it's true. Excessive fat in the body can cause changes in the brain structure. Now, you might be wondering, how does this happen? Well, it all boils down to the connection between the brain and the body. The brain is the command center of the body, controlling various functions, including metabolism. However, when there's an excess of fat, it can affect the brain's functioning. Studies suggest that high levels of body fat can lead to a decrease in brain volume, specifically in areas related to memory and cognition. This could potentially lead to issues with cognitive function and memory loss. But it's important to note that this is a complex issue, and more research is needed to fully understand the relationship between fat and brain structure. Still, it's an intriguing area of study, showing us once again that our bodies are full of surprises. Fascinating, isn't it? Let's move on to the second fact. Did you know that fat people have a lower risk of dementia? That's right, folks. It might seem counterintuitive, but there's science to back this up. Various studies have found a curious correlation between higher body fat and a lower likelihood of developing dementia. It's a bit like a protective shield in a way. Now, let's be clear here, we're not promoting obesity or unhealthy lifestyles. Rather, we're shedding light on an unexpected and somewhat strange aspect of fat. It's not all bad news, it seems. Researchers are still trying to fully understand this link. Some suggest it could be due to the extra energy reserve that fat provides, which might be beneficial to the brain. Others believe it could be related to certain hormones produced by fat cells. These findings are intriguing, to say the least. They challenge some of our preconceived notions and remind us that the human body is a complex and fascinating machine. Interesting, isn't it? Now let's uncover the first strange thing. Did you know that fat people have a higher pain tolerance? Now, this might sound counterintuitive, but let's delve into the science behind it. It's been observed in numerous studies that individuals with a higher body fat percentage often exhibit a higher pain threshold. This is believed to be due to the extra layers of fat that act as a sort of natural cushion against pain stimuli. Consider it like this. Imagine having an extra layer of padding around your body, serving as a shield against the harshness of the world. It's like wearing a suit of armor, but one that's soft, squishy, and remarkably efficient at dulling the sensation of pain. This doesn't mean they don't feel pain, but rather they can withstand more of it before reaching their threshold. It's another fascinating way in which our bodies adapt to our unique circumstances. And that's the top strange thing about fat people. Until next time, keep questioning and keep learning.